Jerry has been a very strong proponent of working with the General Land Office and other agencies that have been very involved in the oil spill and the preparation for any oil spill issues that we have. And as he shared with you, we've talked with each other a number of times over the course of the last 70 days about how an event like this, the Deepwater Horizon disaster, could impact the state of Texas. Are we prepared? Have we put in place all of the precautions that we can and we should? And as usual, your agency has things in hand, both in terms of getting Texas ready and in sharing the key resources with our sister states. I know Bobby Jindal had some requests that you filled and worked with him, and watching Louisiana and Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida be impacted by this event. They're both environmental and economic disaster that's going on there is pretty heart-rendering for us, and particularly knowing people in the either the hospitality business or in the fishing business along our own coast, and how disastrous that could be for our citizens. I share the frustration of my fellow governors over in those eastern states at the Obama administration's unwillingness to utilize every available resource to control the spread of that oil. You know, whether they've obstructed Louisiana's efforts to create sand berms that would protect the coastline, or kept the Dutch oil skimmers out of operation. Washington has prioritized bureaucracy and centralized control over approaches that could actually help. I support Senator Hutchison's legislation to waive the Jones Act so that containment and cleanup experts from other countries can take part in the effort. Late yesterday, news reports indicated that the administration would finally start accepting international resources. That's the right move, and it's well overdue. Gulf Coast residents and communities and employers deserve nothing less than the best effort from our government and from experts across the nation, and for that matter, the world. One thing's for sure, Texans can be confident that the General Land Office has helped prepare Texas. We're ready. Should any residual effects of this tragic event reach our shores. Today, we're also keeping an eye on another approaching storm down south. It's the first major storm of the 2010 season, and it's already being felt on our coast. Alex is growing in strength, and it's bearing down on Mexico and South Texas. But we are ready to handle this storm and its impact. The latest estimates indicate that Hurricane Alex will make landfall overnight, packing winds in excess of 80 miles an hour, storm surge of from 3 to 5 feet or more. As always in these situations, my message to Texans is, particularly those in the projected impact area, finish your preparations, stay connected to the credible information sources, and heed the warnings of your local officials. They are the best source of information and guidance. Your local leaders, like your county judges, your sheriffs, your mayors, they are closely integrated with our statewide emergency management effort, and they have been mobilized to prepare for Alex's impact. It'll be our first storm without the guiding hand of Jack Colley. That's the man who shaped our state's approach to many disasters. it is also a tribute to his leadership that our team is responding so smoothly. His replacement is very ably taken charge. Since taking over for Jack, Interim Chief Nim Kidd has applied his extensive experience in the area. He developed that while leading the emergency management efforts in San Antonio and keeping our division of emergency management on track. Working closely with DPS Director Steve McCraw, Nim and his team are executing a massive effort to get Texas ready and to keep Texans safe. We've mobilized the Texas military forces, both their aircraft and the high-profile vehicles, to assist in providing any rescues that could occur with the rising waters and flood conditions. We've activated our private sector partners. They're the ones that are going to be conducting certain logistical operations. As a matter of fact, they do it better than the public sector in many cases. State agencies ranging from Parks and Wildlife to Health and Human Services are making preparations to quickly address any needs, no matter where this storm ultimately hits. I think I speak for all Texans when I say how fortunate we are to have such experienced men and women and emergency teams watching out for us, whether these individuals right here standing with me or that are already pre-positioned in South Texas. At this time, Hurricane Alex is a Category 1 storm. People in its path can expect high winds, heavy rain, flash flooding, even hundreds of miles inland. Our emergency management team has taken this storm seriously, and Texans should as well. Paying attention to this storm, heeding the guidance of the local leaders to protect themselves and their families. At the state level, we're going to continue to support the local leaders with the resources that they need, prepare their communities to weather out this storm, recover from its impact. Experience has taught us to pray for the best and prepare for the worst. And Texas is ready for Hurricane Alex. We've activated the manpower and the aviation assets, the buses, the medical and shelter supplies. And we're in constant contact with the local leaders, first responders, the nonprofit groups who stand ready to render the necessary aid. We've been through this before, and we know that tough times bring out the absolute best in Texans. So in the coming days, we can expect Texans to be Texans and take care of their neighbors' needs, and that's simply the way we do it in the great state of Texas, and it makes me proud of this state, and we are very proud, Jerry, of your folks and what you all have done and are prepared to do in the case of any extension. So.